A recent PlayStation firmware update is believed to have added a 30-day online check-in timer to new digital games, after which the games will no longer launch. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough. Remember when PlayStation found on Xbox about this very thing?
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
PlayStation.
Yeah, also the only gaming news show brave enough to deliver the news from the back of a moving car. Jeez, Bruce,
That's
are you
right.
in a presidential motorcade? What's going on?
Oh man, I wish I was every day, but this is just an Uber.
Well, it certainly looks very high class. And yeah, what a difference 12 years can make about that PlayStation clip, huh?
Yeah, right?
Oh boy, probably shouldn't think about that too hard, lest we have another existential crisis to kick the day off. But yes, the news is important. This is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, the news of this new and entirely unwelcome DRM system broke thanks to a video from the YouTube channel Modded Hardware published last Friday.
And yeah, the news is about as bad as you can imagine here. Modded Hardware discovered a new timer added to all purchases that would disable them after 30 days unless the console reconnects to the PlayStation Network via the internet.
Well, that one hurts. This timer is similar to the one that would appear on games downloaded as part of PlayStation Plus, only now it's appearing on all new digital purchases on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5.
Yes, and the timer appears regardless of whether or not this PlayStation has been activated as the primary console. So it seems like there's no getting around this one.
Wow. The only slightly good news here, as DRM news goes, is that it's not retroactive. So digital games that have already been purchased have not had this timer applied to them. I don't know if that's good news.
Yeah, theoretically they can't take away the games you already bought, but I guess they have a way to do it going forward now. Modded Hardware explains that this actually closes certain security loopholes that they were already aware of. Modded Hardware, by their name, of course, is into the custom firmware scene and stuff like that. So yeah, apparently the homebrew scene would use certain games and certain apps that didn't have explicit online checks as sort of a loophole to do some things that PlayStation probably wouldn't want them to do.
Yes, the jailbreaking. Apparently, certain apps and games could launch without rigid network authentication, but PlayStation has been slowly patching and removing those methods.
Yeah, so Modded Hardware just sees this as another step in that process that's been going on. But this is a pretty big deal, pretty user-facing. The issue gained a lot more visibility and notoriety later that night when content creator Lance McDonald posted about this issue on X.
By the way, Lawrence, friend of the show, Lance McDonald, he's a great dude. I've worked with him many times, and he's always on top of this stuff. So PlayStation hopefuls seized on an X post from the Does It Play account, which claimed an anonymous insider had told them that this whole ordeal was unintentional.
Yeah, that's probably the best possible outcome, and it understands why people might want to believe in that. The post says that, according to their anonymous source, quote, Sony accidentally broke something while fixing an exploit, and that they're aware of the, quote, confusing UI, but didn't see a fix to that confusing UI as necessarily urgent. So this is how it looks for now.
But a follow-up from Does It Play tester Destruction Games on X makes this seem like far more than a UI goof.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, Destruction Games removed the CMOS battery from their PlayStation and found that they were unable to launch a digital game they had purchased the day before.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Wow. All the games and demos purchased and downloaded after the update would not run on a dead battery, while games purchased before the update ran without issue.
Yeah, even demos. That's bananas. That means it's a blanket DRM system, or at least that seems natural to assume at this point. Also, just FYI for the technicals here, the CMOS battery, every computer, if you pop open your PC, you'll see it. Every computer has a little watch battery on the motherboard that allows it to maintain an accurate time and date counter when it's unplugged from the internet or even turned completely off. That way, when the computer boots up next time, it can be reasonably confident that the time and date that it has is what it actually is.
Yeah, that's right. And so it seems PlayStation intentionally closed this possible loophole, which implies this system is not accidental or unintentional.
Yeah, or just a UI goof, just an accidental date that's appearing. If it's preventing the game from running, that seems like it's a whole thing. So yeah, this sucks. This really sucks. So we don't know what's going to really happen when the 30 days is up, because we can't, testers can't cheat the date, because that just means the games won't run. So we'll see what happens 30 days from now, or I guess maybe more like 27 days from now. when the first fully offline PlayStation tries to run one of these games. I can see this making sense from a couple of angles from PlayStation's perspective, even if it's not good news. This is more just me kind of puzzling it out. Obviously, PlayStation doesn't want to make it easy to push custom firmware to their hardware, especially with what I see is like the absolute volume of PlayStation hardware that's out there now. A lot of PS4s floating around. And if it's extremely easy to convert those all into like zombie PlayStations that can run a whole game catalog right off the hard drive without being connected to the internet, I can see why PlayStation wouldn't want that, especially in like emerging markets, places like China or other countries that are starting to become these bedrocks of potential revenue. They don't want a bunch of pirated hardware and pirated software floating around and getting in the way. But I think another way it makes sense, and this is what's kind of unique for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, is that maybe you could argue it with the PlayStation 3, but really with the PS4, it's kind of the first console where you can still reach to and market the people that are using it. In the past, it was like, we make a new console, the old one is just kind of like relegated to antiquity. It becomes the domain of third-party resellers and things like that. And that only really, it doesn't really compete with new sales or anything like that. But if you got PlayStation 4s out there that can play a whole library of games directly from the hard drive and never need to connect to the internet, that's basically like a dead user to PlayStation. They have no way to reach them. They have no way to sell to them. They have no way to convert them to PlayStation Plus. But the hardware is there, so to Sony, that's a possible endpoint they could reach through to try and convert potential new users into being online users, into being PlayStation Plus members, into buying games on the PlayStation Network. So they have a much more vested interest, I think, in keeping older hardware secure and as a viable marketing point as we keep going forward in time. Because we talked about this before, but as older hardware theoretically gets cheaper, then that hardware finds its way into new homes that PlayStation wasn't in before. And they very much want to make sure that their marketing through line is active and alive, so that it's not a custom firmware maker that is speaking to that person's living room.
This is absolutely hilarious, Lawrence, like you alluded to at the beginning of our episode. Because 12 years ago, or whatever it was, when PlayStation was like, here's how you share a game, and then they hand over a game to another person. This is bad. We're getting to the nickel and diming. I mean, we're like years down the road. I've been saying this on the show for a very long time, that Sony has been nickel and diming their customers harder than ever. And this is yet another decision that does not encourage me.
Yeah, these are the dangers of a closed system. There's certain benefits, I guess, which, I always think about Apple as the pinnacle of this. It's got ease of use, it's got brand awareness, it's got brand loyalty. But that also, just a certain adherence to that brand ecosystem also comes with a lot of drawbacks, which means there's a lot of shots that they get to call. And if you're part of that ecosystem, you're kind of tacitly agreeing to all that. But this is I don't know, this isn't great. It's changing the deal. And at the very least, it's not retroactive, but that's still not very good. This is why we've been saying on this show a lot for the past 4 or 5 years, if you're really into gaming and you want to invest in it and you see yourself doing it for the rest of your life, you got to switch to PC. Get a PC, buy games from Good Old Games. It's much better here. The games are cheaper, and DRM's still a thing, but at least there's competition about DRM, and some stores have made it their selling point that they don't use it. So that's what's cool about this platform.
Also, can you imagine, Lawrence, if Sony is sort of they're doing a lot of rake stepping right now, and Xbox releases Project Helix, and then Project Helix is everything that a gamer wants, and it's a PC, and Sony's over there in their closed loop system, losing customers. I wonder if that's going to happen.
Man, Xbox could do the funniest thing ever when Helix comes out. Here's how to share a game on Helix, and you just pass a thumb drive or something like that. This is every installer on Good Old Games right here, and they'll all work. Have fun. We'll see. Man, that would be great. Well, thanks very much for watching Inside Games Daily. Unfortunately, you do have to be online to get this show, but at least we don't put a 30-day timer on you. If you download it, you can watch it for the rest of your life if you want. And you know what, Bruce? I feel like this is the one. This is the one people are going to watch. They're going to download it every day and watch it every day. It's how they're going to start their days. I know it. I can feel it.
Okay.
But hey, if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and recommend it to a friend. And also, we do have a Patreon. It's not all paywalls, though. It's free. We post everything we do there for free. I hand select a meme to go along with every episode, so you got free episodes and free memes and other benefits if you feel like supporting us, but you can enjoy it for free. That's how we try to keep it here. And on that note, we have some Patreon supporters and meme enjoyers we'd like to shout out, so thank you very much, Redden003, Namehogger, Mervin Sturve, BB Prime, and Matt Bogenberger. Boy, we've been around the block a few times. I'm being reminded of that more and more, and it's your support that keeps us here. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Inside Games.